Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another video. Welcome to this live. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're doing well or doing fantastic. So as you see, we're going to continue talking about the same topic, the same theme. This week's theme is talking about the problem solution fit, right? Because the thing is that if you are trying to solve a problem that the marketplace doesn't see as a problem, no one's going to buy it. Yesterday, I gave the example. It's the same thing as creating this amazing umbrella and trying to sell it in the desert. No one's going to buy it, right? So as you see by the title, we're going to be talking about how to validate your coaching's problem solution fit. And today we're going to talk about, exactly how to validate it and how I do it as well when I work with people one-on-one with my clients. And you don't need, and that's a big mistake that a lot of coaches do. You don't need to guess if your coaching offer will sell, right? A lot of people close themselves behind closed doors and try to figure it out, what will sell. And then they launch it and they hope it sells. You can actually validate it before you ever build it in the first place. Because most coaches, they skip the step and they launch blindly, then wonder why no one buys. Well, they never validated in the first place. So today I'm going to give you a 3-step process, like the research, the surveys, and also the conversations to validate your problem solution fit. So you're sure that people will pay for it. So people will do it. And this is something that I do with all my clients before we go crazy and start building funnels, right? We need to validate that the offer does sell. Okay. So why validation matters. And I think we can all agree on this. Without validation, you risk building something that no one wants. And maybe if you've been struggling for a year or 2 or maybe even 3 of selling your coaching offers and no one is buying, it's because maybe you never validated it. And validation is not the offer itself, is how you present it, is the angle, is how the wording, the messaging around it. With validation, you build demand even before you build the offer, because you're able to validate, but because sometimes validation is actually people prepaying for something before it arrives, right? The best analogy that I have for this is like, imagine trying to open a restaurant, and would you rather spend months building the menu and decor or ask people actually what they want to eat first, right? If you're opening the neighborhood, do a little survey, right? Do a little thing, do a little market validation and ask what they would love to have instead of just like having to do that work by yourself, right? So there's a 3-step. Step number 1, and that's the research part, right? Look where your audience already hangs out. Forums, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, Reddit forums, all of those things. Even Instagram, look at who they follow, like the Instagram pictures and things that they comment on. What are they hanging out, right? Find reoccurring complaints, questions, and frustrations that they have. There's a really good website called askthepublic.com. Amazing website. They just put the keyword in there and tells you, because it's linked with Google. And Google, what's the first thing you do when you have a problem, when you want to fix something? You Google it, right? If I just ask you right now, go bake a pastel de nata, which is a famous custard tart here in Lisbon. You don't know how to do it. So the first thing you do it, you Google it, how to bake or how to make a pastel de nata, right? So the cool thing is that Ask the Public, it connects with the askthepublic.com. It connects with Google. So in Google has all of this data of what people are searching for. So when you have your keyword, you can actually see what kind of questions people are asking around that keyword, right? So find recurring complaints, questions, and frustrations that they have. Check, for example, book titles, podcast episodes, YouTube videos. What topics get more traction? Like find the main, for example, if you do relationship, right? Find the main relationship person on YouTube. What is the video that has more views on that, right? And kind of start to understand, okay, what is my target audience actually looking for? So, for example, instead of just mindset coaching, you see the people are saying, I feel like an imposter at work. That's the language you should be using. That's the language that you use, because that's the language that they're using. It's all about entering the conversations that are happening in their mind, using the vocabulary that they're using to explain their problems, to explain the possible solutions that they think is going to work for them. So that's first one, like research, doing the first research part. Then what I do as well with my clients is that we run surveys. I love them because then again, we don't have to guess anything, right? So you create a short 3 to 5 question survey. I like 3 because it's straightforward. And these are open-ended. For example, you want to ask, what's your number one challenge when it comes to the goal they want to achieve? What have you tried in the past that didn't work? And if you could solve this problem in 90 days, what would the success look like? What would the solution look like, right? And the reason why I want this to be open-ended, for them to actually write the answers, is because I do not want to assume anything. I don't want to have a multiple choice. right? I want to make sure that they tell me in their own words. I want to use their vocabulary. Again, it's very important. And with this one, with the survey, a little bonus, offer a free gift or a workshop for completing the survey. Make sure that there's like what's in it for them. Either, do the survey and win this. You use the survey and get a free coaching session with me, something like that, right? Or a free workshop. Usually what I like to do is a free workshop, a free webinar. The goal here is to collect language, not just data. We're collecting verbiage. We're collecting how do they communicate their problems. You want to hear how they describe the problems, how they describe the possible solutions, and what have they tried in the past. You don't want to try to figure that out by yourself. Step number 3 is having the conversations, like now DM, chat, email. People who filled out that survey, let's talk to them. Ask 3 to 4 clarifying questions, on the call or on via chat or via email. And the questions can be very simple. It can be like, why does it matter for you right now to solve this? What happens if you don't solve this problem? If you could wave a magic wand, what would the perfect solution look? What would your life look like in 3 months, right? The bonus here is that often these conversations, they naturally end up being a discovery call, because people don't go around answering surveys about stuff that they're not interested in, right? So if I just saw a survey, someone asked me, hey, Sally, can you answer the survey about fishing in Nevada? I don't even know if they fish in Nevada, but anyway, I'm not going to answer. I don't fish. I don't know. I don't even know if Nevada has a lake to fish. I don't know. I'm not from the States, right? So if people are going to spend their time answering a survey, right, and actually typing things in, more likely they have that problem. So if you're going to ask further questions, that can easily transform into a discovery call, right? What are you looking for here are patterns. When 7 out of 10 people mention the same pain or the same keyword, I'm sure that with all my clients that I work with one-on-one, when we do this exercise, I always tell them, I don't think because they're experts in their own right, I tell them, like, we're not looking for anything revolutionary here. I don't think that you're going to hear anything out of the ordinary, which is fine. What we're looking for here is patterns, is like frequency. If 15 out of 20 people talk about the same thing, then, we have something here, right? What we're looking for as well is urgency. Do they talk about how it's like now the problem, not the someday problem, not our wish problem? So we don't want to make sure, because we want to make sure that we're fixing a now problem, an urgent problem, not a someday wish, if it happens, happens. If it doesn't, doesn't. And also willingness to pay. So listen to, I'll do anything to fix this now. Those little things we want to look for. Think of validation like digging for gold. One shiny rock doesn't mean much, but when you see a cluster, you know that you struck the vein. Like, that's what it is. Validation before you build anything is so important, but it's less sexy. That's why almost nobody talks about it. And I understand why, because it's not sexy to talk about these things. You're like, oh my God, I just want to go and build funnels and post online and do videos or that. But then what are you posting about? What are your videos going to be about? We need to make sure that you validate those things, because that's how you find the problem solution fit. So tomorrow I'm going to talk about like real examples of problems that people say to solve, that they solve, and the ones that they don't, right? So you have like real life examples. So that way you can kind of see from your own offers as well. I hope this is helpful. This 8 to 10 minutes that I do a day, it's just kind of like plant a little seed in your head, and hopefully you have the fundamentals down and you'll be able to help you in the long run. Okay. As always, feel free to leave the comments or even DM me if you have any questions. But until then, a big kiss, a big hug, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.